to introduce our Rotarian of the Year.
Y'all hear me in the back okay? No. Yep. I don't think I usually go more for quiet sarcasm. I don't think I project as well as Mason does, but I'll do my best. And this slide makes it look like I'm the Rotarian of the Year, which isn't allowed because I looked into it. But we do have someone who I think is very, when I was sitting down to think about who I was gonna bring forward for this, one name kind of came to mind, and that's really impressive in a club that is just full of people that do good things all the time. But this name came into my mind, and there was really just no one else in the last year that I thought really deserved the honor as much as they did. I do want to thank Tim for letting me circle back to this. This usually happens at the installation banquet, which has been scrapped for the last 2 years in a row because of COVID, and this just doesn't feel like something that you want to do over Zoom. Or not as good as WebEx, as I sometimes like to call it. It's a Cisco joke. So what is the Rotarian of the Year Award? This is an annual award we give to a Rotarian in our club who clearly stands out in demonstrating service above self. A nominee should be an outstanding club member who has made significant contributions to the mission and operation of the club. The Rotarian of the Year Award may be given to a member who exhibits service above self in their daily activities and who promotes Rotary by their actions and involvements. So, in addition to this honor, you get this plaque to go with it, and you get $1,000 is donated to the Rotary Foundation in their honor. So, you get another Paul Harris Fellowship. So, a couple of years ago, Kyle and I lured this member up to V Pizza.
Oh, God.
I was looking at him and I was like, it's gotta be me. I didn't know.
So it's not just me.
It's obvious. It's obvious.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill Shane.
Kyle and I brought Manuel up to V Pizza to talk to him about joining the board. What's that like? We might have a role for you. Shane and Gary having recently left the club and leaving our fundraising chair open. And I think we're pretty straightforward. I don't think we had to lie too much to get him to sign up. This turned out to be one of the wiser things Kyle and I have ever done. So just to name it, you know who it is now. I don't really have to read these accolades, but right after this conversation that we had at V Pizza, that's when COVID hit. And
Like the next week.
Yeah, yes.
Like 2
We were
days.
probably breathing COVID in
Right,
V
yes.
But so we couldn't, we went into lockdown mode. We ended up having to cancel our pig picking that year, which is, 95 or more % of our fundraising for the year. Well, we have to come up with something else. So Manuel led the founding of our Swimming for Scholarships program. We needed something to bring money in to be able to do the good work and scholarships that we do. So here's a new event. Which is really genius in a way because it not only it filled that gap, we were able to make a new fundraiser that tapped an entirely different group of people without taking money away from our pig picking by letting people go to their friends and family and coworkers and pull it in. We might not ordinarily be our traditional business sponsorships, and now it's part of our permanent fundraising plan. So in addition to pig picking, we also have this other great event that we hold in the middle of the year. And then, of course, pig picking, which we were finally able to hold, but things were still kind of weird. We had to kick it back from June. We weren't able to have it until later in August. And we had to adapt to the times because, besides COVID, a lot of things changed. COVID stretched people thin. We weren't meeting every week. We couldn't get together to do the planning for the pig picking that we usually do. So we had to make some changes to the pig picking. And if you're new to this club, I can't stress enough, I'm not just saying we just had to make some changes. You don't mess with pig picking. It's not done.
Amen.
But we did. I mean, Manuel had to stand up in front of the club and say, we're gonna do this on a Thursday, and it's gonna be a drive-through, and we're not gonna print tickets, and on and on and on. And he stood up and took the heat and worked. I mean, all of the things that people brought up, he worked ways around that with the people, and I don't think you can argue with the success. We ended up raising as much that year as we did in any of the prior years, you know, outside of Shane pulling magic restaurant strings, that, you know, that was just kind of an anomaly. So, yeah, I mean, and on top of that, I mean, those are obviously two huge events. Always hosts our blood drive, serves on the board, and honestly, like, there's just nothing that I've ever gone to Manuel and asked him to do for the club that he hasn't just jumped right into. So, it is my honor. Please join me in congratulating